Welcome everybody to At the Coach's Table Live. I'm executive coach and leadership psychology expert Phyllis Reagin. I'm a former studio exec turned high impact coach. My clients are professional leaders in the entertainment, media, sports, and creative industries. And they come to me for coaching around mindset and how to make their leadership more effective in these high pressure environments. Today is Saturday and I'm talking about your wellness. I go live 3 times a week. On Wednesdays I'm talking about your mindset. That can be around self-doubt, self-belief, imposter syndrome, confidence. On Fridays, I'm talking about your leadership effectiveness, how you're delegating, how you make decisions and problem solve and get your team to really operate at a high performance level in a high pressure environment. And on Saturdays, I'm talking about you and your wellness because you are the leader that needs to show up. It's about the whole you. And so we need to talk about your own wellness, whether it's self-care or if it's around burnout. Speaking of burnout, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have clients that come to coaching and they're not recognizing early signs of burnout. So we're going to talk about these hidden symptoms of burnout that help you start noticing it before it escalates to being a real challenge for you. The definition that they normally think of burnout is like, I'm extremely depleted, I'm tired, I'm unfocused, I hate my work, I don't want to do it anymore, I'm having trouble falling asleep, I'm having trouble staying asleep, I'm worrying a lot, I feel anxious. And so those are some late stage signs of burnout. We're going to talk about the early ones that you may not be recognizing in yourself. One of the ones that I think are really interesting that my clients don't attribute to burnout is what's called rust out. Rust out's when you start feeling boredom and disengagement from the work. And you kind of wonder why. Like the things that used to light me up, the reason why I do the work I do, I really believe in it. And I believe maybe in the why of what my work is about or the why of my company. But now when I do the work, I just feel, disengaged. It's not interesting. I feel bored by it. So recently I had a client come to coaching with this exact issue. She was so curious, like why when she tried to focus in on work, she just felt this real numbness, this real boredom with it. And she noticed she's really distracted by things that normally didn't get her attention. So now she gets up a lot from her work, and maybe when she's working from home, she's doing things like laundry and the dishes, or she's turning on something to watch on, her streaming service. When she's at work, she has to get up and talk to people, maybe go get something out of the kitchen. So it's all of this moving around and being distracted by other things. And it's because she believes she's bored. But when you dig deeper into that, the boredom that was happening from her was really due to a cognitive overload. She was not resting and recharging in her life. So when it was time to focus in on the work, her brain was saying, red light, red light, red light. We don't have any energy for this. This is not helping us. We can't focus in on the things that are important. Go do something else. And the something else are these small dopamine hits that helps you feel like, okay, I'm really connected to these things. This is what excites me. But really it's just your brain giving you these short dopamine spikes that makes you feel more alive in those actions and those tasks, rather than expending more energy for you to focus on the things that you need to focus on. That can also show up in procrastination, by the way. So procrastination can be, I can't really lock in on the things that I need to. And that is really also because your brain is conserving energy, right? Because it really doesn't have that much to give to you. So you want to take notice of when you're feeling rust out, because it's a really strong indicator that you are heading into burnout or in it, and you don't want to move into the late stages of it. Does that sound like you? The second one is hyper-perfection or over-analysis. I have clients that like to think that they're demonstrating excellence, and that could really be true to a point. If you find that you're stuck in these perfection loops, like you can't let go of the work because you keep rewriting it. You keep thinking about it. You keep analyzing it. You won't delegate it to others. You're holding it tight because it needs more attention from you in order for it to be at this perfect stage. That's a loop, and that's often when your brain feels like it's out of control of what's happening, and so it wants to feel safe. And when your brain wants to feel safe, it'll get you stuck going over and over and over things without moving it forward, because really focusing on it and being in the work is where you feel safe, comfortable. This is what you know. So you want to check when you're in those kind of perfectionism cycles and be careful that it's not you thinking it's excellence, but it's really something that your brain is signaling to you that you need to pay attention to. Do you have that symptom? And then the third symptom is irritation over small things, like being irritated about things that normally just you would blow off, or it would just, something that would roll off your back. You really wouldn't pay it a lot of attention. But now you notice it really raises your emotional temperature. That could be your direct report needing some attention on some content that you need to give feedback on or rewrite for them. And normally it would be a coaching and development opportunity, but instead you now find yourself like internally irritated that you have to do it. And you might even be showing it to others, right? It's your tone or your body language or even maybe the words that you choose that now show your irritation. You could be showing irritation when you get home from work with your children or your partner. So things that normally you would just, you feel pretty calm and chill about it, or just ignore it for the most part, or give, feedback, but in a gentle, calm way. You're noticing that you raise your voice, you're irritated, you don't have time really for others the way that you did. And my clients come to me with irritation, and it's really bothersome to them. This is not how they want to come across as a leader. This is not how they want to come across to the people in their personal lives. So they really want to make sure that they figure this out. When you pull back irritation, it can be connected to burnout. It is really you just not having enough cognitive, emotional attention. You're overloaded, and so you're not recharging and refreshing and resetting yourself. You can help yourself really quickly with this, by the way, if you're feeling it, and it's really getting some calm micro moments. And that is allowing it during your day just to pull back. Maybe it's 2 minutes every hour that you do deep breathing exercises. Or you make sure that 3 times a day you push away from your work and you go for a 5 to 10 minute walk. You could get up and just stretch your body a couple of times a day. It can be as simple as that really lets you just center more into yourself, recharge yourself, refresh your brain so that you're not so easily irritated by things that normally wouldn't even, be bothersome to you. And another symptom, and the final one that I'm going to talk about today, because believe it or not, there are a lot more. So I'm going to return to this topic a little later on in my live series. But it's decision fatigue. And that's when you start noticing that your decisions are slower. They're not happening at all, maybe. Maybe they're the wrong decisions. And you're concerned about it. And you're saying things more often like, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. I'm not sure about that decision, and you feel overwhelmed now by the fact that you have to make these decisions. That's decision fatigue. It's an early sign of burnout. It often is your brain again is in cognitive overload. It's not resetting and recharging. You are not refreshed enough really to start making those kinds of decisions that used to come to you maybe more easily. So that's a huge red flag that you might be in burnout. All right, if you do have all of these symptoms, what next? What do you do? Here's what I tell my clients to do. It's the 3 N's. It's name it, it's notice it, and nourish it. So name it is you name it. You don't want to say things like, I'm lazy, I'm tired, I hate the work now, I'm not the right person for the job, I need to move on, I don't like my manager, all these negative things. You want to name it. I'm not lazy. I'm tired. I'm not distracted. I'm actually in cognitive overload. You want to name what it is. That helps your brain. Because instead of being stuck in the amygdala of all the emotional things that are happening because of the burnout, you have now deactivated that, and you're in your prefrontal cortex. It's activated, and it's clearly naming what's happening. Can't do anything until you know for sure what's happening. Now you want to notice it. So that's observing it. That's that metacognition of you thinking about what you're thinking. So observe, like, what's happening with me? What's happening with my thinking? I've talked about this before in my life. It's important for you to understand, like, here's the trigger of what's happening. And I notice that I have these emotions, and then I do this action or inaction. But what did you say to yourself before you had the emotion? So this is a different frame, right? You notice what the trigger is. It's certain people, certain situations, words said to you, whatever the context may be. Now you had a thought. What was that thought? Capture it. Start observing it. Start noticing it. It might be something that you were not even aware of, or maybe you're not aware that you say it so often to yourself. So one could be like you have a trigger of when your direct report, his work is just not showing up with the excellence that you wanted to have, right? So there's a lot of mistakes in it. And your emotion, you've noticed, is that irritation. You want to go to the thought. Your thought could have been, I have no more energy to give to this person to help them. Then the emotion happens, there's irritation. And your action might be to say something you didn't intend to say to them, or the way that you said it, right? The tone of it. You want to go back to that thought. What did I just say to myself? I said I may not have the energy to give to this individual anymore. What is that? What did I say, and why is that happening? You can't really get to your why until you start noticing those thoughts. What did I say, and what's supporting that? What's going on with me where I feel like I don't have enough energy to give to this individual? Lots of clues in that for you. And then the last one is to nourish it. So once you get to, oh, I said that, and this is probably what's happening to me. I am really not able to give my direct report this kind of attention over something small, which is raising my irritation, because I really feel like I can't think any more than I am right now doing, right? So you might be in cognitive overload. What do you do at this point? So I have my clients, they go from naming it, noticing it, nourishing it, and then I have them work on the 3 R's of nourishment. So the first one is recharge. That's moving your body, getting enough sleep. That can be, maybe you go for a nice walk, you meditate, do some yoga, stretch, breathing exercises, anything that's really going to get you recharging your physical self. The third R is rewire. That's you stepping away from the work, from the situation, from the conversation. And you can also rewire your brain by connecting to things that make you feel creative, that interest you, that connect to you, that really raise your interest in what you're doing. This is about you activating other areas of your brain while you are actually recharging. You're going to start rewiring to things that excite you and interest you. We want you, again, to feel the pulse of what excites you, what lights you up, so you can access your brain better. And then the third R is, and I have to reconnect. Reconnecting to you, to what matters to you. So that could be talking to people that you find interesting. It could be connecting to your mentor so you could talk about ideas and topics of interest to you for your career growth. It can be reconnecting to your values, about what's important to you, about your why. You might notice that you're not as connected to them, or knowing what your values are. I talked about that in my last live, the importance of knowing what your values are. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to do the 3 N's, Name it, notice it, and nourish it. And when you get to nourishment, you're going to do the 3 Ys. Recharge, rewire, and reconnect. One or maybe all of them are going to be important to the type of burnout symptoms that you're experiencing. All right, I'd like to know what you connected with. If you need help or you want more clarity around your burnout, feel free to go to my website, Phyllis Reagin, REAGIN.com. And you can reach out to me. There's a way to connect. I'd love to help you if coaching is something that's of interest to you. Or just follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, on my YouTube channel, Leadership Unscripted. And I do these lives, and I also have other ways to help you through videos and articles. But thanks for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. I'll see you next week on Wednesday. Bye-bye.